Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm very happy to bring you from the Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron trilogy line. This is the Autobot Alliance 2-pack, Ironhide and Prowl. And let's take a closer look at that beautiful artwork on the cover. So up close and personal, you have a really cool picture of Ironhide with his shield there, deflecting some shots from the Decepticons. And also you have a picture of Prowl there fighting back with his blaster. Very, very cool. You do see a Decepticon jet flying by in the background. And I just love the detail of this artwork. You see some smoke and fire and trees in the background there. Very, very cool. Now that same piece of artwork does wrap around on the side. You see Ironhide's fist and he's holding a blaster on this side. Some explosions. And also very interesting, you see the arc here crashed into the side of the mountain. So very, very cool. These are deluxe class figures. On the bottom, you have some product information. On the top, you have an Autobot symbol there with the other logo there. On the side, you get a very run-of-the-mill Earthrise artwork there, but you do get a Transformers Authentic logo there, which we didn't see in some other just normal deluxe releases, so that's very interesting there. On the back, you do get your product shots, and you do see Ironhide in his robot mode. And you see him also in his van mode, very G1-esque there. Also, you do see Prowl in his robot mode and vehicle mode, and looking really cool. And I'm very happy I finally have Blue Streak and Smokescreen, and now we have the Earthrise Prowl. And it does say Autobot Alliance there. So, without further ado, let's crack this guy, or should I say these guys, open and see what they're all about. Okay, so here we have Earthrise Prowl out of the packaging, and since this is a 2-pack, I will just be reviewing them individually because I want to compare them with their Siege counterparts. So let's get into that right now. Let's just get a close look at this Earthrise Prowl. The head sculpt is really, really cool. You have some nice silver paint on the face and painted blue eyes, and you get a little bit of detail with the red paint on the crest there. And very nice. I think I tend to like this a little bit better than the Siege version. Going down, you do get some black paint on the front here. You get some nice light blue for the headlights there. Not a whole lot else going on with this figure. You get some more of that see-through blue plastic on the legs. And as I've said before, I just think this is such a huge improvement over the Siege version. Now the blaster is different, and we'll compare that in just a sec. But just doing a quick 360, you can see some of the differences already. And bringing in the Siege version right now, let's take a look at the head sculpts. So they are a little bit different. Some of the facial expressions a little different. The Siege crests with the red are a little bit more pronounced, a little bit higher. And the head sculpt is actually very different. So they're pretty similar. I do like the Earthrise one better. So this being more of a Cybertronian mode, it's a lot different, but it shares a lot of similar design elements. So on the Siege version, you do get a little bit more paint ups with the yellow and things here. The Earthrise is very simplistic in its design, and again, I just think there's a huge improvement over the Siege design for the legs and things like that. But going around the figure, you can see some similarities. Now they do share the door pieces. Looks like they're very similar. Maybe they're not the same, but there's some similar sculpted detail in there. And also the siren and thing is very different. So there they are from the back. And now their blasters are different. So just setting them down there. The new Earthrise comes with this really cool blaster just done in a white plastic. So there you see a very cool little sculpted detail there. And I much prefer this than the Siege version. With the Siege version, it was a very simplistic blaster there. Not a whole lot of detail. They did have the plug for the siren there, which it does not on the Earthrise version. So I do tend to like the Earthrise Prowl better. So there they are side by side. Just get them set up there. And we'll see more similarities and differences in their vehicle mode. So taking the Siege Prowl out, and what I want to do is compare this guy can stand up here. I want to take Prowl, and I want to take Blue Streak, and I want to take Smokescreen. And let's see here if we can't get these guys all in the camera here. Let's put these guys back a little bit. So yeah, there they are, the three Dotson brothers, as they are called. You have Smokescreen and Prowl and Blue Streak, and I just think they look absolutely great together. Now, Smokescreen and Bluestreak do have the side on the shoulder cannons on each side of the head. Prowl does not have that. Unless I'm missing something here. No, I'm not. He actually doesn't come with that. He does have the ports for it here, but it doesn't come with that. So that's actually very interesting. It doesn't come with that. So, but the other two did. Okay. Well, and so yeah. Anyways, there's a comparison there of the other two, and very cool. Now my set is complete, and taking these guys away, we will get into Ironhide. All right, so here we have Ironhide from the Autobot Alliance 2-pack. And I do think there's enough differences between this Earthrise and the Siege versions to pick this set up. It's really cool. I do prefer the Earthrise figures better. And we'll bring in Siege Ironhide for a comparison here just a few seconds. But let's get up close on the head sculpt there. So again, much like Prowl, you do get a really cool silver painted face and some blue painted for the eyes. You get that very typical Ironhide-esque head sculpt with the crest there in the middle. Very, very cool. Going down, I can already see a lot of differences. Of course, this is an Earth mode, so you do have the windshield wipers and more of a Earth mode windshield front there. They do share some elements as far as the sculpted detail, but going down, it's a lot cleaner. You don't get all the battle damage as well. So, yeah, very, very cool. And you do get the shield here, which is very, very cool. We'll actually take this off and get a closer look at the shield. And it does have some heft to it. I was surprised when I picked it up. It's got some weight to it. So very, very cool. Very nice, clean, crisp Autobot symbol front and center. And you can see how everything just kind of folds up underneath. And some very cool, even on the bottom, on the inside, some very cool sculpted detail there. You do get a peg there to place in any of the ports on his arms. And you do get some exhaust pipes on the back there. Very, very cool. Done in just a black plastic. And anyways, yeah, so he has, this can just peg on anywhere like that. And bringing in Siege Ironhide. Now he no longer comes with his axe there. And actually we'll just take that off for now. It's a little bit in the way, so we'll take that off. And let's get up close with these two guys and see how they compare. Now you can see the sculpt on the head is very, very different. Also the paint in the plastic is very different. On the Siege Ironhide, you have a little bit more red, not sure how to describe it, a little brighter red, whereas the Earthrise is a little bit more muted, I would say. Also you see differences in the gray and the black plastic. Obviously the front chest is different. They do share, like I said, some sculpted detail on the arms. Let's just straighten his arms out a little bit so you can see that better. So you do see very similar, if not the same, sculpted detail there. And I think the fists even are the same. And we'll get in on a shot in the blaster in a sec. So going down, again, you don't get the battle damage on the feet. Very clean. And they do share basically the same legs there. Going around the figure, you can see them sort of back to back. And on the actual back, you do, again, the black plastic versus the gray, and a lot simpler in its design, the Earthrise figure. So let's take Siege Ironhide out of there, and let's just take a look at the blaster that Earthrise Ironhide does come with. He does come with a very cool little blaster, very G1-esque here. Very simple design, but very cool. Just done in a black plastic there. So very, very cool. So yeah, let's get Siege Ironhide back in there, and you can see how they sort of compare there. And let's just take the shield off for now. Let's get a more cleaner look for both of them here. So very, very cool. And again, I do prefer the Earthrise version better, but we'll see how they fare in vehicle mode. All right, so here we have Earthrise Ironhide in its vehicle mode. And just one thing with the transformation, you really have to make sure everything is pegged together well, because this roof piece does sort of keep everything pegged together. So you got to really make sure everything is pegged together before you put that roof piece on. And even so, you do see a little bit of gappage here and on the front here. And if I do try and adjust, if I do try and push this down, it kind of misaligns everything. So you don't really want to push too hard, but I think this is about the best it's going to get. So taking a look at the vehicle mode, very cool. You get the nice yellow pinstripe down the side, and it's very different than the vehicle mode from the Siege. You do get that more Earth looking front end here. You do get some nice silver paint on the headlights and some nice sculpted detail there on the grills. Getting in a little bit closer here. Just going around the figure, and everything for the most part does line up very well. I thought the feet protruding from the back would bother me a little bit more. Even though his feet are just kind of hanging off the edge, it doesn't seem to bother me as much in hand. Now seeing like the first product images of this, I was kind of like, oh god, that looks awful, but it's really not too bad. I mean, of course, from certain angles it looks better, but in hand it doesn't bother me as much. So it would have been nice if they had, something folded up under here and kind of curved down and hid all that. It would have been a really cool improvement, I think. Instead, you just have the kind of feet hanging out there. So that's really the only, really the only beef I have with this vehicle mode. Other than that, I think it looks really cool. And other than the fact that I wish it kind of pegged together a little bit better. But anyways, so putting him down and bringing in, let me just move this back a little bit, bringing in the Siege version, you can definitely see the differences in the two. And they are pretty much night and day. So you can see, exactly where things, what they've done, and basically overall it's the very same mold, same figure, but just a slight improvement, I think. So as far as Cybertronian mode and Earth mode, they're very cool. I tend to like the Earth mode for the Earthrise Ironhide better, but you can see how everything sort of fits together there. And you do have the exact same feet, just hanging out the back there, but very cool. And again, you do get a little bit difference in the plastic, more dull red with the Earthrise and a little bit brighter red with the Siege. I actually do like the brighter red on the Siege version. So there they are, side by side. So we'll take both of these away and bring in Prowl. So here we have Earthrise Prowl in its vehicle mode. Very, very cool. One thing right off the bat, they didn't do this with Blue Streak, but they did it with I keep saying Sunstreaker, Smokescreen and Prowl, is they did leave the mushroom peg exposed here, which I kind of wish at least they had painted black. As it is now, you do have the white mushroom peg kind of there, so not a big deal. But anyways, there is Earthrise Prowl, very, very cool. And for a comparison, you get some nice painted lights in the back there. You do get a little bit of sculpted detail with the exhausts and the vents in the back. And just bringing in Siege Prowl on my left here, you can see the differences. Siege Prowl looks a lot bigger, a little bit wider. Basically the same length, but yeah, a little bit wider. So there they are side by side, and you can see the differences. Now I do really love the way they handled the wheels on the Siege Prowl. That is very cool. I kind of wish they had done a little bit something extra with the Earthrise Prowl, but it is what it is. So there they are side by side. And last, we will take a look at Prowl, Smokescreen, and Blue Streak. Now, like what I was saying with Blue Streak, they really did up the wheels on Blue Streak. I mean, that was just amazing. The painted rims and everything. Well, they didn't do that with Prowl or Smokescreen. So there they are, the three Dotson brothers in their vehicle modes. Very cool. Very happy to have them complete. And we'll take those guys away. And bringing back in the Earthrise Ironhide. Now there is weapon storage for the gun for Ironhide. It fits right under the roof. But I found that once I put the gun in the storage, it was very difficult to peg on. So I just took that off. And there also is, you can plug in Prowl's gun. There is a port here. You can plug Prowl's gun on top. And the same for Ironhide. You can put anything you want up there. So there they are. So this is the Autobot Alliance 2-pack, Ironhide and Prowl. And my final thoughts, I think this set is worth getting. Like I said before, I think it's different enough from the Siege versions that it's not like you're really double dipping per se. And I do much prefer these Earth modes rather than the Siege. They're a lot cleaner looking. I think they're just nicer looking in general. And I think there are big improvements on the original figures themselves. So anyways, very, very cool. Very happy to have them in my collection. And probably happier to have the three, the Smokescreen, Blue Streak, and Prowl as one set there. So very, very cool. Very happy I picked this set up. This has been Matt in Japan. This is Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy, Autobot Alliance 2-pack, Ironhide, and Prowl. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.